What is happening, people? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing very, very well. Today we have another Patreon album tier request, and it is from another Drew. Few and far between. Don't really get a lot of other Drews that come around too often from my own experience, so it's always nice to see someone called Drew, especially supporting the channel directly via the Patreon tier. So Drew, I appreciate you. This is Drew Sands, to be specific, and he has requested the album Ways We Haunt by a band called Stellar Circuits. I feel like I've maybe heard that name before. I'm looking at their Spotify here, and they look like the most American band I've ever seen in my life. There's like a ginger guy with some orange kind of visor glasses with a cigarette, and then he has the American flag stapled into his top, and the other guy in the middle, the blondie guy with the glasses, I don't know, they just have the most American look ever, even though two of them are ginger, although the guy on the far right looks kind of like he's ginger but wearing a wig. Don't know if that's offensive to say, but it's just how it looks from right here. So they could technically maybe fall into the Irish category, two of them being ginger, but there's just something about that vibe. It almost looks like they're like comically trying to look American, like it's almost like some kind of a meme, but that's just my initial observation. Stellar Circuits, Drew has said, that sounds weird saying Drew has said, because I'm Drew, but anyway, he said they are a prog metalcore band with some influences from Tool. I recommend this album as it feels like a complete experience start to finish, and is something I can close my eyes and fixate on the musicianship. So yeah, a prog metalcore band with Tool influences. Not really sure where this could go. It could be very Tool-esque or just small nuance here and there, but the fact that it's like prog metalcore as well, and the members are very Irish looking, who knows what we're gonna get, guys. We're gonna jump in. Drew, I appreciate you suggesting this album and supporting the channel directly. Without any further ado, guys, let's hop on. And if you do want to get involved in the Patreon album tier, then patreon.com/Drew Fortune. It is currently sold out, but keep an eye, and when there is a place available, you can hop on it and get an album of your choice suggested. But guys, let's jump into Stellar Circuits with their, let me confirm which album, 2018 album, Ways We Haunt. It is 48 minutes long. Let's go. Alright, I want to really listen out for the Tool influence. Yeah, I hear the Tool already. It just sounds like Maynard speaking to his megaphone. Theatrical vocals.
This might feel right.
Give it to me.
You've taken the
Sick.
witness, endless now. I'm turning insane. Witness, endless now. Walk right to the wall. Witness, endless
This feels very Tool, like this Adam Jones build up. I love that like uplifting EDM. I know it's the obvious call to say and make the Tool comparison because that's what Drew has told me about, but it is very, I don't know, like it's interesting. I don't know if I'd pick up on it because I've used the Tool reference so many times. Sometimes I try and veer away from it, but when it's glaringly obvious or when it's there, it's going to be something that I said, you know, something I'm going to say. So vocalist definitely had like the kind of haunting Maynard cleans or the like narration style that Maynard has in some of the Tool tracks or in a lot of Tool tracks, and then even some of the like nuance to some of the screams and even just the overall build up within the screams, like the, you know, repetitive lines. So focus endlessly, like the last 3 lines of the track are the same thing, the same pattern repeated. And then in the actual guitar work itself, the patterns that the guitarist was following in some of the build up segments, that was very Adam Jones as well. So I definitely hear it. Again, I can't know if it's something I would have like immediately picked up on if Drew hadn't advised me of it in the first place, but I'd like to think I would have definitely thought of it in my head. Whether or not I would have said it is probably different because, you know, I do use the Tool reference so many times because obviously they are such an influential band, especially in the prog scene. So it's kind of cool to hear a more modern like metalcore twist, especially with some of the production that was involved in this, with like the stuttery moments that led into climactic parts of the like breakdowns and stuff. So that was pretty cool. I'm always a big fan of that style of production that Buster Odahome and everything uses. So yeah, that was an interesting introduction to the band. Again, not sure if I've heard of them before. I feel like the name is quite familiar, but they've got like 40 something thousand monthly listeners, so not exactly the most popular band by any stretch. But if there's anything I've learned from the last 2 albums, it's that the monthly listeners are a very hit and miss means of telling whether or not a band is actually talented or not.
It's just alright. Look into the skylight, right on the edge. Just take what's left, that's all we have. I know why you've come. Climb inside the grave, even though it's shallow. Take a step and start to pray. Lead us to the gallows.
The only thing I can really compare again is like that undertone, that bass undertone, but it still doesn't really sound anything like Tool. It sounds quite unique to me.
Shades of shame. Life here stolen.
If anything, it kind of reminds me of what vocalist is na 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 Jane. Oh, what song is that? No more pointing fingers at the reflection. I suck at singing. Oh, I need to know what that song is now because I need to listen to it again. It's so good and I can't remember what the name of it is. Here in my reflection. That's what it's kind of reminding me of with some of the cadence moments from the vocalist. The cadence sounds like that. Someone remind me what song that is. I've pretty much sang the whole song, so someone's got to know what it is. I reacted to it not too long ago. No more pointing fingers at the... Loving the tone here. Nice dirty tone. Kind of cheeky harmonic in the back of the mix. Woo! Oh, it's Carnival. Sound Awake. Not Sound Awake, Change. That's the song that I'm thinking of. Kind of sounds a little bit like the Carnival vocalist, a little bit. Which is, again, a band that sounds a lot like Tool. So yeah, it's all... Okay, right, yeah, okay, definitely. It's all tying in. It's all making sense now. I've just like come full circle and realized that yes, it still sounds like Tool. It's like Carnival sounds like Tool, and these guys kind of sound like Carnival, so in a roundabout way, they kind of sound like Tool. Well, definitely not that similar in this song. I like that one. That was a more aggressive approach. But that one to me, the standout is, I believe the Carnival vocalist is Ian Kenny. Whether or not he was the vocalist for Sound Awake, I'm not sure. But that's the main takeaway from that, is the cadence overall sound a little bit like Carnival, which again is a band that sounds a lot like Tool. Not a lot like Tool, but definitely in certain parts. But the vocalist actually sounds more like Ian Kenny than Maynard here. Oh, he sounds so good. This is very chill, man. Has that metalcore feel to it now, because we got like this tapping riff, which I don't believe Tool really ever get involved in.
might make my day. Crawl into the place I've been when you call. Realize that it's when you fall.
It's just really chill so far. It sounds very, very easy to listen to. Good musicianship. Can't really ask for much more, really.
Slow inside your thoughts. How
Nothing like groundbreakingly new for me yet, but it just sounds polished. Might require a few listens to really like find the nuance in it.
should know that
You can hear a lot of the vocal melodies and harmonies are just really like nice. Cool contrast, very Deftones here. When Chino goes off. But also that kind of like distorted effect on the vocals is very Deftones. It's like the... Oh yeah. Kind of Animals as leaders here with the bass tone. It's gotta be playlist. Not recreating the wheel, but just sounds sick.
how could you have known that
I really like this. It's very proggy here. This track, it's all over the place.
one to leave you paralyzed?
Still like Carnival vocals with like some Deftones like vocal fries and effects on the vocals, and then like almost like a Tosin Abasi from Animals as Leaders feel to that bass. Sounded almost like the way Tosin Abasi's guitar sounds when he's thumping it. It just gives like that bass feel. That was a good track though. That's 2 in a row that have impressed me. Definitely a band that I'm going to really enjoy. I'm absolutely spoiled for choice with bands over the last while. I've been getting so many good requests. I feel like I just know quite early when I'm going to like something, and I feel like this is one of those projects. It may take a few more listens to get used to and figure out the nuance, but I definitely like it. I know the overall sound is definitely like, it's not too jarring. It goes heavy when it should. It goes heavy in the right moments. Cleans feel well put together. Some theatrical moments at the start of the album.
Hopeless, I've been gazing your way. I'm focused on the light above the haze. I'll be the one you always blame for the loss. Standing around with your halo slowly falling off, and I've been on a wave. Let's go for a ride. Try to find the right. Why fight the wave? I like the way I am with you.
Yeah, this is, it's actually more reminding me of Carnival than Tool.
Deciding how much time
Here, that was kind of like Maynard, I guess. Deciding!
time is all I
Yeah, that's Maynard. It's obviously not Maynard, but it kind of reminds me of him.
How could I stay with you there? What would I say now that we're racing along the sky? Past the sun, I'll be wasting away at the end of my line. I'll decide that I won't hear the song. Now you're on
This is really fucking nice. It's like
Done my best.
taking the prog bands that I fuck with, like Tool, Carnival, Deftones, and giving it like a metalcore breath. You know, some of the guitar moments are a little bit more like metalcore feeling to me. Just the way they're tuned, the tone, the overall grittiness of it. But the overall feel of the track is like quite prog, like the way this is just flowing, and then we're getting the like flanger background uplifting feel again. That's fucking cool, that atmosphere. Very futuristic.
I'll be the one you
Oh,
blame for the
simple melody.
looking around with your hero
Yeah, this is playlist as well. Fuck, these guys are good.
is gone. And I am on the way in the back of my mind.
That was very soulful.
To change, let me float away to the end. When you lie there, deciding how much time I have, it's all that I have. How could I have done this again?
It's simple. Like the vocalist doesn't sound like the most technical vocalist ever, but he's really nailed what he's doing.
I'll be wasting away by the end of the night. I'll decide that I won't hear the song while you're on your own. The queen sleep.
Yeah, like some of the moments in that track are very like soulful. He's putting a lot into a lot of those moments. It's not like these really like high moments or really low moments, but it's just really that middle ground between the two is just done really, really well, which I really appreciate because the instruments are really taking over, doing a lot of work. Sounds amazing. The overall production as well, just keeping everything floaty, but also sounds very modern with some nice distorted guitar riffs. My kind of music, I'm not gonna lie, this is really good. Lose the forest for the trees. Not gonna lie, I was actually judging this band based off of their Spotify banner. I just was like, this is gonna be the most like Western American sounding band ever. But very, very surprised. Don't judge a band by their Spotify monthly listeners or their album or their banner on Spotify, okay? Lesson learned. This is quite Tool. Like, what's that track by Tool in the middle of Fear Inoculum? Oh, it's gonna piss me off. Was it Lipa? No, it's not. I can't remember the name of it, but it has like that tribal percussion in the background, some like layered haunting vocals, and then like the sound effects. That's the only way I can describe it. Trippy as fuck. And because it's called Lose the Forest for the Trees, it does kind of feel like you're in that jungle vibe. Like, bum 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 bum. Alright. Back to that like angry Deftone sound. Love that guitar. This is sick, man. I love this. This is just like, it's simple, but it's so effective. It's so closely aligned with the kind of music that I like. There's a really cool dynamic that people have been watching me for such an extended period of time that they just know what I really fuck with. It's kind of fucking wild. Okay, we're getting a really dark build up here in the back. Then we got the acoustic coming in. I love when it's very raw acoustic where you can hear the fret slides. I've always said that, it sounds amazing. Oh, so much layering here. It's a shame I can't explain to you. Oh. On the guitar again. Fuck yeah, that slaps. Do I play this as well? Yeah, I've gotta. Okay, solo time. Where are we in the lyrics? None of these lyrics are synced, so I have to scroll through it. Futuristic vocal effects there, layered. Oh, there's that dark undertone creeping back in again. Now they're gonna use this to set up the next track. They keep teasing. It's like a real teased out undertone. It's like boom, 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 and then they just cut back out. I love this vocalist, man. Again, it's like he's not hitting like extremely high notes or extremely low notes. He's just like riding that middle line so perfectly. So much like kind of theatrical nuance in his voice as well. He's like, like it just sounds really good to listen to. I sound amazing there. Sorry about that. Sometimes I just can't help myself. I feel like that's a testament to how good a vocalist is sometimes when they make me feel like I can sing. That's how you know you've found a good vocalist. But we of course all know that that is very much so not the case.
I like the way you wear
Like, yeah, he's just got like a...
behind those watchful eyes.
He just sounds good. I don't know what other way to describe it other than he just sounds good. Like, I mean, I like the way you wear. That actually, I can't lie. Sometimes I sing into this microphone with a bit of echo and a bit of, what's it called, reverb. And I'm like, am I in the wrong career? Like, should I be doing vocals? But then, like, my mom will listen to me in the kitchen and she'll be like, Drew, shut the fuck up. And then I like take, or like I'm listening, I seen a meme on Instagram recently and it was like me when I listen to Bad Omens and it was like someone singing and he sounds like amazing, and then when he takes the earphones off it's like the worst thing you've ever heard. And that's like quite literally me, because Bad Omens is one of these bands that's so easy to sing along to. They're just so catchy, and this is kind of like making me feel like I can sing. And then I get a false sense of security, and then when people are around and I'm just singing by myself, it's just this microphone can make anyone sound like they're somewhat decent, especially when you throw a bit of reverb on it. It just cuts out all the like the shit parts. I like the... Okay, no, I actually suck. I don't know why I'm trying to justify me, like, because now it sounds like I'm being genuinely serious that I actually think I have a career in singing, and I'm going to continue on. But the point is that this guy is like just doing everything so cleanly. It's nothing like he's not trying to show off.
Now you've gone and done it, make your decision.
Like even that, your decision.
This is the end.
Again, that sounded kind of good, but I've also got music on my ears. Your decision.
Begin.
Who knows, lads? Maybe a vocal cover for me someday.
Seen it sinking through right
I'm joking.
to your skin. You could make me believe there's something inside us.
Yeah, their sound overall is just lending itself to music that will be very accessible to me on a day-to-day basis, so I'm just gonna like half of it, to be honest.
I'll take my crown. It doesn't make a difference. So bring your thoughts to the surface. Bad luck when you live in your own way.
See, the screams are like, they're good, but they're not like the defining factor to me here. It's all of this, the simple stuff.
They try to make your decisions.
I've just stopped taking notes for this album.
You've been locked away.
Loving the bass, this production feels crisp.
You could make me believe there's something inside of everyone. Don't make the same mistake while you're holding on. Reconcile with the face in the mirror. You're supposed to always my it doesn't make a difference. So bring your thoughts to the surface.
Yeah, it was obviously making a lot of comparisons to Tool, Carnival, Deftones, but they've kind of just come into their own now, and it just does sound unique to me. There is still those lying elements, but it's very hard for a band to sound so unique because, like, there's only so much you can do with a guitar, drums, and the overall production, I guess. But these guys are doing a pretty good job at moving away from that overall nuanced sound that is So Tool, Deftones, Carnival. Something different here again. Pretty unique to me. Ah, love this guitar tone coming in. Midnight Feels. Oh yeah, come on. This has got to be big. This has got to be huge. Don't disappoint. I don't trust that this is over. This feels Tesseract to me now, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, not anymore. That scream was very Dan Tompkins on Tesseract's Sonder album. And even some of the tracks off of Polaris. Oh, fuck. Lads, this is like Tool, Tesseract. So many influences that it is just so unique at this point. Small elements here and there I'm picking up, but it still sounds completely fresh. I've liked so many of these tracks again. I try not to like everything, but when I really like something and I want to listen to it again, it's going on the playlist. Build up. Tesseract, Genty Step. Oh man, these guys know how to build up to shit. These teasing bastards, that's twice. But I like it. Oh, fuck, these guys are unbelievable. This is so relaxing. Yeah, I've just completely abandoned the notes. I have a lot of notes for the first few tracks, but I feel like that's a testament to how much I'm enjoying this, is that I just kind of forgot to start doing it.
Just to be there.
Oh,
Not special.
I'm at that point in the album where I'm kind of like it so much that I'm kind of fanboying over certain parts that are probably quite generic, and I'm just like, oh god, it's amazing. It can happen.
Tell me why.
Beautiful album though, wow. So many underrated bands. Fuck me.
Could you believe that I'm on the fence? Oh, I see it.
Yeah, it's just not like trying to be overly heavy. It's just everything feels so guided and intentional. Like the distortion comes in for a minute, but it doesn't necessarily have to like be this big climactic moment. They're trying to blow your mind. It's the overall project feel, which is what they're doing, as opposed to like giving you like viral moments, like big reaction moments, you know? Just great music. Some of the transitional moments have been flawless as well.
Nothing special, that's alright. While I wait, it's taken over, and you're on the way. No one ever takes my side.
The vocalist just stays in his lane. I love it. He's not trying to like really overdo anything. He just knows what he's good at and sticks to it. Because that's what can annoy me with albums, where they like tease something that sounds really amazing and they like don't really come back to it that often. It's like, just do what you're good at. See what I mean? It's not like trying to impress you by doing the harsh vocals for the sake of it. It feels so strategic and it just hits so much harder. Like even the bigger guitar moments there, when the distortion comes in that heavy, because it's been so few and far between. Yeah, we've got like gented out grooves in the album, but that felt like the big like climactic moment up until this point. And then it doesn't hang around for too long either. It does it and then gives us this beautiful acoustic outro. Very, very good. Some of the transitions in this song as well were absolutely flawless. Like even that last transition there into the outro. Really perfect blend of that djenty style and just, I guess, that prog lover sound. Really, really amazing. This is a very good find. Shout out to Drew. Drews just have good taste. Let's, come on. I think we're coming into the outro, maybe. The Polar Dream. Let me check where we are in the grand scheme of the album. this is the second last track, and the final track is the title track, Ways Beyond.
Mystified with mass confusion.
This album's gonna stand the test of time this year for sure. Because I'm doing so many albums at the moment, it's hard to like stay on top of them and like listen to every album consistently. Only the best albums and tracks are surviving right now, and these guys are gonna be there for a while, I can see it. This transition was quite cool here. Yeah, that like dissonant ringing guitar in the background. Vocalist is fucking wild, man. He's so good. He just meanders through the track so well. The rest of the band are class as well. Yeah, they really don't hang around in any of these moments for too long. I kind of maybe wanted them to just go a bit further into that one, just let me really get going, but it's still cool. We've definitely gotten like significantly heavier though as we've progressed, but I love that undertone guitar here. The layered clean. Makes the mix just feel so large, so much going on in it, you know? Multi-layered, multi-dimensional.
I'm sure
reminds me of that track off of the Dolly Thunder and Concept Savages with the little weird voice on it. What song is that? Because of power! That song. The power! What is it again? It's because of power! I believe it is The Myth of Happiness, I think. Because of power! It's the one with the weird vocals at the start. But anyway, this is the title track and the outro to the album, which has been amazing so far. I don't know how I'm going to round up my thoughts here. I don't think I'll do much of an outro on this one because sometimes the reaction just speaks for itself. I really love this. I'll do my rating and everything, of course, and touch on some of the points that I maybe just, you know, took down at the start of the album. But ever since, I haven't really been taking any notes. I'll just try and round up my thoughts the best I can. A very pleasant surprise, though.
Catching a quiet sound. This was the way we found something more than you and me. Can't you see the reverie? It's right there, just under the surface. But I'd swear that your ghost would never show. It's right there, just under the surface. Why will you always hide your face? Something is wrong with me. Something is wrong with you. And then when you're hearing that call, 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 it's right there, but you already know that this place had taken you long ago. What's left to hide? So disillusion. This is the way. Circle around again.
This is beautiful. I completely forgot we were filming there for a second. I just got so lost in that, and then I was like, oh fuck, this is still happening.
Always hide your face.
I completely floated off there.
How could this get so far? Can we go right back to where we started? The ways we home.
Fucking hell. I forget when you're driving and you're just so zoned out, you kind of like snap back out and you're just at your destination. You're like, how did I get here? That's what I had, like a good minute or two of just like, and then I was like, wait, what?
As the story shows, light it starts to grow, and it's
Oh yeah.
name.
This was fantastic. Jesus, guys. I'm going to jump straight into the pros because I don't see any cons with this album whatsoever. So give me a second. I did kind of fade out towards the end in a good way. Not like the fade out where I just couldn't be arsed anymore. Like, it was genuinely just enjoying it so much and wanted to go along with it. I think my thoughts had made up my mind at that point. You guys knew I already liked the album. So we'll start with what I did take down anyway. So let's just go back to the album and check how many tracks made the playlist. So there was 11 tracks in total, and I came out with a total of 6 tracks that I actually liked. I liked all the tracks, to be honest, but I think the ones that really stood out and felt playlist to me was about 6. So we had track 2, which is Skylights. Track 3, Fell Under a Spell. Track 4, Sleepless Goddess. Track 6, which was Rorschach. Track 7, Go With Your Ghost. And track 8, which was Matryoshka. Don't know if I'm saying them right, but anyway, let's go back to Nocturnal Visitor, which was the intro track. Had like a kind of an EDM space feeling vibe, space station kind of vibes. I don't know, that was what was going on in my head. Theatrical vocals off the bat, very theatrical straight away, you know, I like that. Adam Jones build up backing riffs at that. It just kind of felt like the way Adam Jones sets up some of the moments in the Tool tracks. Yeah, just those kind of like overall patterns. It had a cool modern production with some like stutters again. Again, it's always kind of hard to know when you're hearing a band for the first time what their style is overall. So, you know, you're kind of guessing if you're going to like it or not. Yeah, Adam Jones nuance in guitar sequences and patterns. Maynard nuance with repeated vocal lines and screams. Yeah, so some of the drawn out screams in the initial track, and then at the end there was some repeated vocal lines, which kind of gave me like the Grudge vibes from Tool. Skylights was the second track. Vocalist started to sound like Ian Kenny from Carnival, which I think, now that I hear it, was probably more, this band kind of sounds more like Carnival than Tool. I think the instrumentals definitely have some Danny Carey, well, maybe not the drumming, I didn't really notice the drumming much, but Adam Jones and even some Justin Chancellor with some of the bass lines, but I think really the guitar work reminded me of Tool in certain moments. Some of the power chords played the down, like that was kind of Tool, but then like the structure in some of the like backing riffs, that was very Tool. And it just kind of like built up to like climactic moments, so that reminded me of the way Adam Jones plays. But I think the vocalist overall sounded more like the Carnival vocalist. I think a lot of the cadences and more nuance in it that was more similar to Carnival, I think. But obviously, you know, I remember the first time I checked out Change by Carnival, I titled that video, "This Band Is So Like Tool" or something like that. So, you know, I think a lot of people had already kind of put Carnival towards me and said, Drew, this is like an Australian Tool, which I, you know, did agree with, but I do think they do definitely have their own sound. And I think this vocalist sounded more like Ian Kenny from Carnival. But there's always that Tool comparison, obviously, so it's all kind of intertwined. Fell Under a Spell, which is the third track, which was so chill. Love the contrast between the distorted guitars and the vocals. Again, the vocals being quite clean, and then there was some distorted, like almost Tesseract genty moments. And then there was like a Deftones-esque effect added to some of the vocals, similar to when Chino screams, "Shove it" in the Change in the House. What the fuck is that song called? Shove it, shove. My Own Summer. Is it? No. Hold on. Shove it. Yeah, My Own Summer. So obviously in that track by Deftones, you have the like distorted vocal effect on Chino's voice. It's not just that track. There's a lot of Deftones tracks that have that like shoegazy, like sexy sound, but this is the more aggressive side of Deftones that it sounded like. Then Sleepless Goddess. There's an atmospheric intro, like a flangery EDM spatial effect again, which is pretty cool. Real soulful chorus. Vocalist really shined on or shone on this track. Then I have the Lose the Forest from the Trees, or For the Trees, which was the interlude. Tool-esque with the layered background vocals and almost tribal drums and sound effects. So yeah, that one was quite a Tool-esque track. And that was honestly where I stopped taking notes. I just kind of got lost in the overall mix of the album. Similar to what Drew had described in the message that he sent me before reviewing this album. He said he just likes to close his eyes and get lost in it. And I can definitely see that. It's a very trippy album. Very, very well produced. Just very easy to relax to. But also some really like good headbanging moments as well. So the pros I have written down. A lot of pros, but these are just the ones I have kind of written down. Off the top of my head, insane transitions throughout. It was very, very good musicianship. The production overall sounded amazing. Very, very fluffed out. Absolutely flawless vocals. Really loved how the vocalist like stayed in his lane. He really knew like what he was good at and didn't deviate too much from that. Obviously there was moments in the album where he went a little bit higher, a little bit lower, but I think mainly he stayed in that middle ground and just rode the wave of the overall instrumentals so fucking well. Really perfect blend of that gent and prog sound. Love that style. It's very Tesseract-esque, the way Tesseract just merged the two so well. Sounds very progressive, but they also keep it like in the gent spectrum, which is pretty cool. Obviously when you're getting compared to bands like Tool, Deftones, and Carnival, it's always going to be a positive. So yeah, those were 3 bands that really stood out to me. I think I mentioned one more band. I think Time the Valuator a little bit, just because Oniro came on at the end there by Time the Valuator. But yeah, they all kind of feel like in and around the same ballpark. Time the Valuator is obviously like a Tesseract as well, with, you know, different elements. So they all do sound quite the same, but also unique in their own right. So yeah, that is my roundup of that album. I'm going to give this a solid 9 out of 10. I think that's a very fucking good album and will most certainly stay in my playlist, a lot of those tracks, for a long time to come. And I look forward to discovering more of the nuance in a lot of the music as well. The vocalist is amazing. One of my favorite vocalists that I've heard in a long time. So yeah, that is all from me, guys. I hope you did enjoy the video. If you did, please do leave a like. I want to say a massive thank you to Drew Sand, another Drew. And yeah, I appreciate you supporting the channel, man. If anyone else wants to get involved in the Patreon tier, it is currently sold out at the moment, but check the link in the description. By the time you're watching this, it may be back in action. So there's 5 available slots. I may add a few more, but if you do want to get an album reacted to or reviewed, whatever you want to get done, check all the links in the description. There's a Patreon link. You'll see all the different tiers. Get involved, guys. I'd love to get involved in the projects that you love, or the project you're involved in. And I'm sure it'd be great to get some exposure for your band, whatever it is. I'm the man for the job, all right? Links in the description, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy it, make sure you leave a like in the video. Make sure you're subbed to the channel so you do not miss any further videos. And yeah, that's all from me. Thank you so much for watching. I'm signing out. Look after yourselves. See you in the next one. Cheers.